Come take a look through the orange lens, my friends. How you doing, folks? Happy Friday to you. What a fucking stunner it is. So, yesterday I was watching, I was actually watching a shit ton about Bitcoin. But nonetheless, while I was on YouTube, a guy called Zuby came online with a live podcast, right? Z-U-B-Y. I came across him first because I heard someone talk about a conscious rapper. So I went and had a look. It all sounded all right. And I like to support people. So I bought his greatest hits. At that point, I think he'd released about 9 albums. Anyway, yesterday he was having a conversation with an ex-teacher. And they were talking about this whole gender politics that's being taught in schools now, and how they're basically debasing the idea of like male and female, right? Like, I'm gonna say something that I believe that may or may not be whatever for anyone. It's what it is. This is what I see. I, first of all and foremost, believe each and every single one of us has the right to be exactly what we want in our own body. We have the right to choose and do what we like, but we now cannot just change the books because of opinion. So I know people that are trans, straight, gay, lesbian, pre-op, post-op. I've worked with some very interesting people in different fields, right? I haven't always been in the building trade or doing music. I've done a lot of different things because, you know, I used to get sick of the corruption in the building trade, so I'd fuck off and leave it. But anyway, let's not sidetrack too hard. So what I believe is this. Internally, we have what is spoken of as like the masculine and feminine, right? They're qualities that are attributed to, you know, masculine and feminine. You can really go into it and pick it apart. I'm not going to go that deep. You can do that if you want. There's plenty of interesting documentaries online, you know, from people that are fucking informed from all different areas, and it's really interesting. But I actually believe this. I believe because of the lack of internal teaching we've had, because of this sort of binary male-female, right? And then, like, it seems pretty much on purpose in America that for some reason, and there's many theories around why that reason is, but they're all theories because we don't know the answer. But for whatever reason, you know, I noticed it in the schools in America where, you know, they're teaching children, you know, I don't know, I can't say exactly what they're teaching them because I'm not reading the books, but through what I've seen through, you know, studies, videos, you know, documentaries, podcasts, you know, people sharing information, is that they're really diminishing this actual physical difference, right? Like, I'm a man, fairly average, right? Just above average. I'm 6'1.5". The half makes a difference. I wanted to be 6'2". Didn't quite make it to 6'2", so I'm 6'1.5" and a tiny bit, right? But I'm just above average, right? And you get a just above average woman. If me and her had a fight, I'd probably batter the shit out of her, right? And that would not be cool, right? Now, pre that fight and that argument, I make a disclaimer. I identify as a woman. Now, there are parts of the world, and it's growing in number, where that's making a difference. That's an extreme end of it. Let me go to a reality. A man born male with the male physical makeup of a man chooses to change his gender. Fair play. John wants to be Joanne. Crack on. I'm not judging you. But if John then, as Joanne, wants to go and enter boxing, This is okay. Huh? A man, John, now Joanne, goes into the weightlifting competitions. This is what Zuby demonstrated. Right? And beats every woman's world record. Like pow, pow, pow. Then goes and showers in the changing rooms with them. Because he identifies as a woman. What if he isn't one of these genuine people? There's a lot of male dominance that still has to be dealt with in many different parts of the world by many different people, and females are one of them, and they're a bloody large group. Right? And all over the world, and crazy shit is happening. Who the fuck is teaching children that the physical doesn't make any difference? This is nonsense. And this interview yesterday, right? So this ex-teacher who got driven out of her job because she was standing up to this shit, right? This is what's happening in institutes. If you don't roll over, you get rolled over. So those that have been rolled over are starting to build steamrollers. And guess what? So this lady was talking about all these scenarios and situations. Oh, it's fucking nuts, right? This morning I go on Twitter and this geezer's doing some radio show. Whatever. Do you think it's appropriate if we have mixed gender toilets in the preschool or something? If I had children, well, to start with, they would not be in the education system. You're having a fucking laugh. But shit, if somehow that was the case, I'd be pulling them the fuck out right about now. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is the future creating? If you start teaching children that boys can identify as girls and get full rights with that, what's going to happen? It's not the case. No, we should not be giving children free right to fucking, like, kids are kids, right? Like, children. They still haven't grown yet. They don't have the need to have the access to liberal choice. They haven't got a fucking clue what it is. Let alone if they're a boy or a girl or neither. Because actually, they're pansexual or they're fucking some other sexual subcategory that's cool. Once you're an adult and you know. Because maybe when you were a kid, you might have got this inkling of a feeling. That didn't get pushed on by the local counsellor in the school playground who's encouraging you to talk about how you don't know what fucking sex you are. Of course you don't, you're a child. How fucking ridiculous. So children don't fucking know, because they're kids. They haven't learnt yet. I was talking with my mate, and she's fucking awesome. She's got children. And I was saying to her, there's this area of child paedophilia, right? And we have to leave space for children to be able to go, fuck me, something ain't right over here. Where's the fucking line? Right, I don't know it, right? But what I know is, this whole gender shit that's being taught is highly destructive, hugely detrimental for many sectors of society. Women, for one, and largely, come on now. What, so geezers can have their sex up? Like me, John, 6'1½". I've been in the building trade all my life. It doesn't matter what happens now. I'm 41. I'm 42 in a couple of months. Like, it's hard for me to lose strength. I was fairly strong naturally. One of them people that just had that natural inner strength, right? No, so now I'm Joanne. And I go into Sussex Boxing Club. Right? I'm going to go have a scrap with a few girls. Really? That's what's coming. And, you know, people that don't want to lose their jobs because, fuck me, what's going to happen if I lose my job? You'll get another one. Christ. It's like fear. Oh, no, I can't do it then. Bollocks, get a set. Right? It doesn't matter. Right? Look, if there's anything I've learned, Christ, jobs come and go. People always want someone to do something. There's always a way of earning if you have the energy to go and do it. You know, and even if you did lose your job because you had to make a stand for something, who gives a shit? You will get another one. There's always another way. It's not this or that. There's always, oh, what about that one then? Or maybe that one. Or maybe that one. Or maybe there's a road that crosses over all the way that never has to touch on that fucking middle one you told me I had to take. This gender nonsense for children specifically. Right, because I believe once you get to 16, okay, you've now got this area whereby you've been exploring gender, right, for a couple of few years, probably. You're in an area where you can start going like, you know what? I definitely like boys. Sweet. Now, John, let me ask you this question. Are you going to be John and like boys? Or do you want to be Joanne and like boys? You know? I personally am John, who's going to stay John liking girls. But my point is really clear and really fucking obvious, right? Children don't know better, and the education they should have around them and the teachings and the conversations and the angles should be that. Like, I don't believe in hiding stuff, but at the same time, kids should be able to be kids for a while. You know, especially while adulthood is certainly not as fun as childhood. Although that said, there are some super perks to being an adult, and I wouldn't change it for the world. As much of an adult as I am. So, to summarise, we need to pay attention to what the fuck is going on around the world. In our country, in other countries, what's going on with education, with finance, with governance. What is going on? And what are we going to do about it? Or are you going to be a pussy? Because I've made my choices. I don't care what happens, how hard it is. You know, I've been working towards certain things for years, and the path may switch and move a little bit, but the end is always unknown. But it's the intention, right? My intention is to do what's good regardless of who tells me what I should or shouldn't do. What is right isn't always legal, and what is legal isn't always right. So, quite frankly, my dear, until we sort out the government and police corruption and the corporate infestation of the institutes, that is my answer to all governance, law and otherwise. You've proven yourselves to be corrupt, untrustable, dishonest people. And for the rest of us, in some senses, we have to choose a side. And I'm not one of you. No, I'm not. I'm more about trinities, Diane, and about duality, right? But nonetheless, if we need change, we're going to have to push for it. There's many different sectors in each side that you can choose, right? You can have the really subdued, quiet people that don't get involved in anything over on that side, to the highly volatile, mouthy people that get involved fighting for the belief in democracy that's never been there. Unless, of course, you're landowners or ruling classes. And then you've got over here, you know, maybe you've got the people that have, you know, opted out, but they're not really talking about it. Maybe you've got the people that are opted out and they're talking about it and they're doing some things. And maybe you've got people that have opted out and they're talking about it, they're doing things, they're making places, they're making things, they're doing all sorts, right? There's many options as to what we can do. But let's just choose one. Use the force, my friends. Positive mental attitude. Be calm in your thoughts to yourselves like you were brothers. Keep loving your hearts for yourselves like you were brothers. And let's get it. Get what, John? Awareness, of course. Peace in.